everyone. My name is Jermaine Laporte, and today I just wanted to take a few minutes and share a few budgeting tips that I find useful during this time, and also to share a few thoughts regarding the opportunities that will no doubt become available once we get past this difficult period. Now, all of us in one way or another have been affected by COVID-19. But for those of us who have been affected in far greater ways, for example, those who may have lost their jobs, may have worked in the hospitality industry and have unfortunately lost their jobs during this time, the one thing that you may be wondering is, how do I keep food on the table for my family over the next few months? I wanted to remind you that there's still the option of the TCI government stimulus package that has recently been rolled out. That stimulus package includes a cash payment for those who qualify, and it also includes a reduction in import duty on breadbasket items. So if you go to the Turks and Caicos Islands government website, you would be able to see full details of everything that's included in that list, and then visit your local supermarket and you would be able to take advantage of the reduced prices for those items, and hopefully those would be able to help to meet your budget needs and help you to keep some food on the table during these next few months when it may be most difficult. For those of you who may have obligations with the bank loans, the local banks have all agreed to waive their customers' payments, or I should say defer customer payments to a later date in an effort to assist as well. So I would urge you, those of you who have obligations, to contact your local bank and see what options they have for you and how you may qualify for the deferral of loan payments over the next few months. And the next thing I wanted to mention is the ever-present utility costs. All of us have utility bills, and all of the utility companies have also already agreed that they will defer payments for the next few months. But one thing I wanted to mention in this regard is, if it's at all possible, continue to make your utility bill payments, even if it's just a small amount at this time or over the next few months, as those bills won't go away. You don't want a situation where you just get back up and working and then all of the utility bills become due. They're still going to be there. They're still going to be needing to be paid. So during these next few months, if your budget allows, by all means, try to make some sort of payments towards your utility bills, and those will help to alleviate the burden that may come at a later date in trying to meet all of those payments at one time. Now, as far as the opportunities that will become available, this is a time that none of us have ever seen, and I believe that many opportunities will arise in terms of business opportunities. Many of the business ideas that we thought were never needed in Turks and Caicos in the past, I believe that many of those opportunities and many of those businesses will be needed going forward. So for those of you who have business plans that you worked on, that you threw aside, maybe it's time to dust off those old business plans and see how they can be put to use. Maybe some of them need to be tweaked a bit, and maybe we just need to get our creative juices flowing in an effort to take part in these new changes that are going to come about. I mentioned banks earlier. The banks will also be looking for new business opportunities going forward. They're a business as well, where they may be looking for new business opportunities going forward. So all of the requirements that were once needed, many say it's difficult to get a bank loan in the Turks and Caicos, but maybe now or following this pandemic is the time to approach your bank once again, and they may be a bit more lenient with the requirements to borrow money. I can remember that about 10 years ago, when my wife and I wanted to start our own business. We got started during the economic downturn at that time. We approached our bank, and we thankfully we both still had our jobs at the time, and we approached our bank at the time seeking financing for our business project, and we were successful during that time. So don't be afraid to approach your bank regarding the possibility of, especially if you still have a full-time job. Not everyone has lost their job, so if you still have a full-time job, maybe now would be the time to approach your bank to see if they would be willing to help you to secure some financing for that business venture that you want to get into. Also, many of us say that contractors' costs are difficult around here. If you had the thought of building something, if you were planning on building a project, maybe a home or a business, now may be the time to approach a contractor, as I believe most contractors would be willing to renegotiate pricing. So this is a good time to take advantage of contracting costs. Real estate prices. Most of us know that real estate prices can be pretty high here in Turks and Caicos. So for those of you who may have been saving up towards purchasing a piece of real estate in 2020, and since things have stopped right now, now may be the time to actually reapproach your real estate agent or the landowner and try to renegotiate the cost of that parcel of land that you were looking at. Also, the government has also agreed, that's already passed as well, where they have agreed to reduce the stamp duties on real estate costs for the next few months. So that's also an opportunity to take advantage of a lower cost. So these and many opportunities, many other opportunities are already available out there, and I believe many more opportunities will become available. So as I mentioned earlier, I think all we need to do is get our creative juices flowing. Remember that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. So let's put our minds to use. Let's get our creative juices flowing, and we can all come out of this pandemic with a glass half full mentality and get ready to hit the road running. Remember to stay safe, everyone. Remember that you are loved.